Welcome to an incomplete guide to personal growth. We invite you to take a breath and take a listen to our podcast that explores the wonder, humor, challenges, and sometimes those self-inflicted wounds on the journey of personal growth.
Our weekly podcast conversations include stories, resources, and tools that you can incorporate into your daily life. We're the mother-daughter duo of Sydney West
and Kelly Arundel. Hey, Sydney.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm good. This has been the longest week. It felt like 3 weeks.
It felt like 3 weeks.
No idea why. We're talking about traditions, and nothing about this show is traditional. We're in a different place.
With the
got
cat?
A cat sitting on me.
That doesn't want to
tail
settle.
on my face. So all
there we
is
go.
good.
Settle, kitty cat.
So have a seat, Bagheera. Yeah. So anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Has been sleeping all day and chose to.
I know,
show
and
up
then
now.
chose to show up.
That's okay.
I know. So, and we are
Yes.
in a new space
We
for
are,
just
so
this episode,
nothing
really.
is the same. So we're talking about traditions.
And how to be.
Right?
And part of it is being flexible in them.
It is. And then I've discovered that I've become a total Scrooge.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, this would be fun. I'm going to wear a little Christmas sweatshirt
Yes.
or something. I have none.
You have no,
I used to have so many.
I honestly don't think I have any Christmas specifics. I'm wearing a green one today.
Yeah.
And so I have like green. I have like a red kind of like
got
red
nothing.
and black that you would wear to a holiday party, but it's not like screaming Christmas. Like I really don't.
I know. I thought I'm going to have to buy at least one because I used to
true.
hate, but we live in a place where you don't wear sweatshirts very much.
Yeah.
But I thought, what if not one.
No.
Not one.
Yeah, I really don't
Yeah.
either. Isn't that
So
weird?
I've turned into a Scrooge.
I know, and we buy all the stuff that we possibly can for Charles in regards to anything holiday.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything for
I
ourselves.
don't have anything anymore.
We should, and then
I
we
got
can
rid
do a
of them all.
coordinated picture.
Oh, no. No. I'm not one of those traditions.
New tradition?
No, I will not. I will not.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, traditions. I want to give in my information of what are traditions, like the definition of it.
Yes, talk about
It is
tradition.
the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation. So it's like, it doesn't have to be, I think people think traditions, not always, but sometimes it can have a religious connotation, but it's not that.
It's
It
just
could
what
be-
you do.
It's what you do.
It's what
as
you
a
do.
cohesive community, family group, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got a little philosophical because it's like, why are they important?
Right.
And I don't think it's for any other reason than the value that we place on them. So, which is not a bad thing.
No.
It's things and habits and
We like to
whatever
have-
rituals that we put a lot of value to.
Right. We like to have consistency.
Yes. And I
And
think
if something was fun once, then we think we have to keep
to
it.
do it again. And we've had rituals and traditions and all that, like, as long as humans have been around, but I think it's like today's modern traditions that we have, like, we place value on them. So they're
Yes.
important. And we talked about in our family boundaries episode about how people can get really defensive and protective about these traditions and the way that people are, because we have this just inherent emotional value to them.
We do.
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
good. And supposedly, and I think so too, it's like, it can be good for your mental health because it creates a sense of belonging for you. You belong in this, tradition that has been going on for however many generations that it has been. And so you feel a part of something, which is good.
Yeah. I think it does. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of positive things to it. I think sometimes if we hold on to them at a time when, there's there's a time to live. There's a time there's a time for things to die. Working in a church, it was like, we called them sacred cows, something that had been going on forever and it couldn't change.
Yes.
But life changes, congregations change,
You've
communities
got to change it at some point.
and sometimes it's hard, but it's important to recognize and let things die out, and recognize, oh, okay, that was a time. Now we're trying something. We're going to be doing something a little different. But that was always very difficult.
Yes.
Because we always did it this way. There's a story I remember hearing a long time ago. It was about, and probably most people have heard it. It was this family, a man was starting to cook a pot roast.
Hi, Kitty.
And they had it every year at this time, and he was cooking it, and he cut the end of it off. And his wife was like, "Why are you doing that?" "Well, you're just supposed to. My grandmother cooked this way, so this is what we do. We cut the end off." Okay. Well, years later, it comes out the reason she cut the end of the roast off was her pot was too small. So, the pot was bigger now.
But they kept cutting.
Funny. Why? Because it was done. And then they realized why, and it was like, oh, that was it. Yeah.
So, oh my
so
gosh.
Sometimes you want to know why.
Why? Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So anyway, but that just reminds me of traditions.
That is definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So we polled some family and friends, and we'll do some shout outs, of course, on the podcast. Do you want to start with ours or end with our family ones?
I don't know. Let's
end with it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go first. We can go back and forth. I don't know how many you have, but I got several.
We got
so
you have more friends than I do. Just teasing.
So my friend Cassie Dell, who we interviewed a while ago, her 30 before 30 list. You can go listen to that episode. She sent me hers. So they always bake Christmas cookies in gingerbread houses. Yes. They get hot chocolate and look at lights, like pick kind of like a random night, whatever, during the season and go and do that. They do Chinese food on Christmas Eve, but it's not because of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's not because of A Christmas Story. They did it before that. It's because they, her dad was military, and so they moved around a lot, and like they were in other countries, and that's just what was it. And so it's they started that like Chinese food on Christmas Eve before.
Oh, I love it. I love that.
And then so what she started, which is kind of cool. So that's stuff that she does with her main family, and then since she's been living in Roanoke with her husband, they've started the Fort Worth Symphony comes to their church once, like for one time every Christmas season. And so they've made it kind of a newer tradition, but they want to make it, a regular tradition of going to watch the Fort Worth Symphony concert.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So that's kind of a good example of like traditions that she has like with her family that have been going on for a while. And then an example of like a newer tradition that they want to make a tradition.
Yeah, I think that's fun to think about how you kind of may incorporate from your family of origin or whatever, and then you start some new ones to see how that goes. And, yeah,
definitely.
Very nice. So I have some from my sister-in-law, Julie.
Oh, yes. Oh, and we interviewed her, too. You can watch one of our previous podcasts.
So anyway, I was asking, because I know that one of the things they do is every Christmas, and they used to live in Casper, and now she lives in Denver now. They do. Okay. But if it's not snowing, they go play basketball.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And basketball's big in my family.
Yeah, and very athletic, very competitive
very
family.
Competitive. So they do that. They also, and we'll talk about Stephanie, they do one that Stephanie does. So I'm going to hold off on that one. We always get really goofy pictures from them. So they do a goofy group picture.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. And then this is one that I think is so funny because talk about how traditions start.
Yes.
So every year they have, when everybody's done opening all the gifts, there's always one more. And nobody knows who it's going to be to. Yeah. So Julie goes and finds it and brings it out. And they open it.
That's funny.
Well, how it started was when the kids were little. You know how you hide your gifts so that they don't find them because otherwise they'll dig them and then rewrap them.
Yep.
So when everybody had opened their gifts, she realized one was missing. So she went walking around trying to find, and she found it and brought it out. And the kids loved it. And so every year they have to have one now. So that's how that, tradition started, and they keep it up.
That's funny, by accident. Yeah. That's hilarious. I love it.
I thought that was fun.
Okay, so I'll go with my next one. My friend Heidi, so they have a tradition that kind of happened by accident too. So, but first they do the Christmas pickle, where you find it in the tree and then you
We have one.
And then at Thanksgiving, they will always take care of the cattle and then do a barbecue.
They what?
Do a barbecue.
They take care of the cow?
The cattle
The
on
cattle.
the ranch. This is from her husband's side. And then they do a barbecue on Thanksgiving.
Cool. Okay.
And then this one is the one that happened by accident. So I think it was her grandpa got new underwear for Christmas. And what they'd always done is like, if you get new clothes, then you put them on a model for everybody. So he comes out and put the underwear on his head and then modeled it for everybody. And so now every new person that joins the family gets underwear and then has to find a way to model. So some people just put over the clothes, and so somebody have to find a way to model the underwear. That is priceless. Yes, so that's a tradition that kind of happened just by
that is cool.
Funny accident. Yeah,
that is great. When I was I spent a Christmas with a friend of mine, Lena, in Finland.
Yeah,
and it was so different.
Oh, I bet.
In that, oftentimes people around here have always. You put your Christmas tree up. Well, we do ours after Thanksgiving. Yeah. And people put them up early. We went out, I think it was 2 days before. Oh, and we found it. And we cut it down from the forest. Much
more common in Europe.
From the area, right?
From the forest.
And cut it down, picked a tree, put it, and just very simple decorations. Yeah. And everybody just did one gift.
Wow.
And then,
so minimal.
Yes. The coolest thing was we went to Christmas Eve service with them. Of course, I knew nothing that anybody was saying, but you could get the feel of it as people were tearing up and whatever. Yes. But then the one tradition that seems everywhere is
Silent Night.
Yes. Yeah. So I could sing in English while they sang, and we lit our candles and did the thing. After the service, families go to the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And they light candles at their loved one's grave. And it was totally pitch dark except for the lighting. It was the most beautiful sight to see this cemetery simply lit up by candles. Yeah. It was magnificent. So that was really cool. And that's what they do every year. You go to your families, your loved ones' graves.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's neat traditions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's more common. Definitely in Europe to wait and decorate Christmas Eve and do
things right before
Christmas. Yeah, that would not work with America's culture.
Ain't get enough money that way.
No. Okay, so my friend Cassidy, she sent me her stuff. So on her mom's side of the family, they have a couple days before Christmas, they just do a big baking day for all the stuff that's coming up for Christmas and stuff. So they spend the whole day. It's very common for the women, I think, just because those are the people that enjoy it. And so the women in her family go and bake and have a whole day of baking. And Cassidy loves bacon. And then on her dad's side, they have chili on Christmas Eve. Oh. Every year. That's their food thing. And then her cousins, so this is kind of cool because it's just her cousins of the family, so her generation, they decided, I don't know how long ago, but decided that they were going to do an activity together as Christmas gifts instead of buying gifts for all the cousins.
I love
that. So you spend money, whatever, that you would have on a gift, and you spend it to go do an activity together.
It's a memory that you make.
Yeah, and so that's a cool one, and that's nice because then that's the next generation of the family that's going to have a tradition together,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That is.
Yeah.
That is really neat. I like that. Go
you
ahead.
Have more? Okay. I've got more. I have two more. Okay. 2 more friends.
2 more. Okay.
So my friend Mackenzie, friend from high school. Oh my gosh, love her. Yeah. I don't know if she ever really listens, but I don't care. Shout out to Mackenzie. They have food things was her main tradition. So they make a special quiche, I think, for Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. And then whatever ringalings are, she said that they're cinnamon and citrus flavor and are this type of pastry.
Okay.
Whatever
they call them ringalings.
Okay. Yes, they do. Whatever that is. So her stuff is food. And then my last friend I've got is Stephanie. And this is, they do a gingerbread people contest every year. And I just talked with her like a week ago, and she was like, "Oh, I'm still debating what I'm gonna do for my gingerbread this year," and it's like well over a month away. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're thinking about that?" And she's like, "Oh, Sydney,
you have
we
to.
start thinking about our characters in March."
So funny.
It is, and what they do is they decorate. They have a certain amount of time. Yep. They each have the same cutout. They decorate their person, and then they take a picture, and then they send it out to all their family and friends.
And on Facebook.
And everybody votes, and they collect it. She's won, I think, the last 2 years. I think she's won the last 2 years. So if she wins again, it'll be a 3-peat.
The pressure. See, what happens is,
I know, right? The
once
pressure.
you win,
you have the pressure for next year,
is that much
right?
greater because you can't pretend you don't care.
Yes. So I look forward every year to that text message.
Yes. You always tell me,
yes.
Okay, look on Facebook.
Yes. And and she like wants like Lauren's vote. She, it's like whoever I'm with, like she wants their vote. So yeah.
That is so fun. But we don't know.
But we don't know whose
is
is whose. But
really
they just want to accumulate as many possible votes.
Okay.
But no, we don't know. It's all anonymous. And then you find out at the end whose was whose.
That is great.
It's good.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we...
So those are kind of our family and friends traditions.
Yeah. Our traditions vary. And I think one of the things...
I think we're a good example.
Julie was talking about one of hers at New Year's.
Oh, okay.
They would they would write out their hopes for the new year and positive things that they thought were coming. And as traditions do, they change a little bit. And she said that we really don't do that as much since Justin died.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you go, oh, got to alter. This doesn't feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it's okay.
Yeah.
Who knows if it'll ever be picked up again, or maybe there's something different.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing about traditions is knowing, we talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why do they change? Well, because people change, families change,
life
dynamic change.
Mm-hmm.
And but we have...
I think our family is a good example of that. And they'll kind of hear. But we have some good... So let's start with
what do you want?
Food traditions
that
we have.
Okay.
So we do the Christmas
I was going to go
cookie.
chronologically.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's food too. Because I was thinking we start decorating, Thanksgiving. Okay, well, let's start. Food. No, back up. Let's start with food because Thanksgiving is a food holiday.
Thanksgiving is a food holiday
too. Can say.
So Thanksgiving, we used to do very traditional. So because we lived by my grandparents.
Yes.
And so we'd, be with them for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. You would make a couple broccoli and cheese casserole.
We make exactly what everybody wanted.
Exactly.
And my sister-in-law always brought the best mashed potato recipe.
Yes.
You'd think mashed potatoes are mashed potatoes.
No, she is a good one. Mashed potatoes. We did turkey and gravy, like that stuff. And then, was it red beets at Thanksgiving?
My mom always made red beets because Paul loved them, and I wouldn't make them at home because I'm sorry. So they ate red beets. Yeah.
And then there'd usually be like some green beans, and then there'd be like a plate of raw veggies
and sweet potatoes.
Oh yeah, sweet potatoes. Yeah. And then bread, Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah,
whatever.
We did all the.
And so we did all like very traditional thing, and then and every year I wake up and I watch the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Correct.
Every year. It is on my bucket list for eternity until it actually happens for me to go to New York and either get one of those awesome hotel rooms that's on the route and watch it.
Yes.
Or if I happen to only have the possibility to be in person in the cold, I would do that too. But it is always eternally my dream to go. And then then watch the dog show, and then we always watch football.
We always watch the Westminster
dog show after And then pie, we have we sometimes have pecan and then apple, and every now and then we have pumpkin, but our family's not a big pumpkin pie family, so it was usually just apple and pecan. Always good. And then football in the afternoon. That was kind of our Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
So it was enough.
And then we start and then
the day after.
Usually the day after.
The day after.
Because
but
also
not the Christmas
you have
tree.
this long weekend.
Yes.
So you got to get this in.
Got to get it done
before everything
and
else
plus,
starts.
like with church,
and we worked at both Paul and I worked at the church.
So you got to get it done.
Like, if you don't do it then,
it's not happening because Advent starts.
Because every activity at the church starts. So that was another thing.
And so we always do the tree. We have a good amount of outside lights. I like. What do you guys do the candy canes anymore? I don't know if you put those out.
I got something different. I don't know what they are. We did them last 2 years, and I don't remember.
But anyway, usually something
yeah.
lines the sidewalk.
We do something
and good traditional
outside,
lights.
not huge
yeah.
outside.
Yeah. And then we have all the Christmas and
Yeah.
I mean, when we were younger, Christmas picture with Santa. Now we do that with Charles.
You do all these things.
And then Christmas cookies at some point.
Yeah, we always decorate. We don't have a contest because,
no.
frankly, well, Lauren decorates.
Lauren does well.
Yeah, but frankly, we're not very talented.
We're not
in that
very
way,
talented in Christmas.
So we don't do that.
Decorations.
Yeah, so we've
see some lights. You know,
yeah, we do the light thing too. Yeah, when we can. You used to do that with Mom and Dad. Yeah,
yes, we'd walk around and do that.
One of the things that it was a new tradition and only lasted a few years, so I still call it a tradition. The Sanders. Our family friend, the Sanders, used to come over, and Sydney would play the piano,
and we'd sing,
and we'd all get the hymnal or whatever other fun Christmas songs we like to sing.
Yeah.
And we'd just sing, and everybody except me would harmonize.
Yes.
And it was absolutely beautiful. And when my mom was here, Stephen actually sang in German with her.
Yes, with her.
Silent
Yeah,
Night.
that was cool.
So that was a really, but we'd have chili and just do
and
that.
do that, yeah.
Even during COVID, we did it outside, I remember.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so some traditions are short-lived.
Yeah, but they're
some
fun.
Are longer.
I like that.
A food tradition that we have was because we lived in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, and I love Texas barbecue, but when I moved to Memphis, it was
barbecue
just
is where it's at.
Really,
it's
I was going to
so
say
good.
eye-opening, but taste bud opening.
Yes,
it was
taste
just
bud opening.
incredible.
I like that.
And so now, Lauren had the idea one year.
Yes.
She just loved Corky's.
Corky's.
And it is good.
It's so good.
And barbecue nachos and their pulled pork and rib.
So good.
So one year I thought, you know what, we're splurging. So I ordered and had it,
and they fly
FedEx in. And so it was not Christmas Eve, but Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And so that's our thing.
Christmas Eve. So December 23rd.
We have this.
Barbecue nachos.
Now it's every year.
Every year.
You just can't not have it.
Yes.
And then Christmas Eve we have
tamales.
Yeah. Texas tradition.
Yes. It's a very,
right?
Yeah. Cause it came, it's a very, Latin, Mexican tradition to do that. And so they brought it up to Texas. And I know several Texas families that do tamales on Christmas Eve.
So that's some of the food tradition.
Yes.
And one of the things, the last couple years, our Christmas tradition has changed because Christmas Day, you were working often.
Oh, yeah. And Christmas Eve, we always do Christmas Eve service. But anyway.
Yeah, and we do Christmas Eve service. Yeah. And,
but yes.
Sometimes. And then what happened was, like at Thanksgiving, you weren't around, so it was just Paul and I. And then Linda and Howard came in, Paul's aunt and uncle, and we went out to eat on Thanksgiving.
Yes, to the Riverwalk.
And then 2 years ago,
I think you just did it again.
I think we did it the last 2 years. We actually don't judge. We went out to eat at Christmas. There's a few restaurants that are open, and people get paid handily for that, and they choose it.
Yes.
Because we always ask the wait staff that. Because I'm always curious about that.
Yeah, it's like...
Right? But it's like, no,
are they bored?
This is good for me to be here. Whatever.
Some people
But we've gone out at Christmas because cooking is not my forte. I do it because we need nutrition and eat. But we've gone out, and the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to be a judger.
Yeah.
I always wondered, why do people go to the movies on Christmas?
Yes.
I thought, don't they just want to be with their families? No.
Not everybody.
But there were just the three of us. And so it was like, what are we going to do? We went out to eat and had a really nice time. We enjoyed each other, so that was good. And then we decided we'd go to a movie. And I don't remember what movie it was, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And it was really enjoyable.
Yes.
And we had a great day. And, circumstances change. And that really worked for us.
Definitely. Yeah, I think just not being afraid, to mix it up when needed.
When needed. And go, well, is that a tradition? I don't know. Well, I don't think we'll do this forever.
Yeah.
But at this life circumstance, it really worked for us at that time.
Yes.
And, no complaints.
No, and I think
right?
and I
agree. Then we
I think
celebrated when everybody got together. We had a different type of
yes, yeah, and I do think that's okay. And we've definitely celebrated Christmas together, not on Christmas, And so I think it's like it's like the day can matter.
And
But I think it's more of like, when do you, it can just be whenever you choose to do those. It's like the day that you choose to do those and choose to call it, your Christmas celebration, your Thanksgiving celebration. It can be whatever you choose. And I think a lot of people kind of recognize that because, you visit one family or the other, and you maybe do Thanksgiving a different day with one side and the. So I think but I think changing, go out to eat one year if that's just what works. Or,
and I think it was. We were sitting around thinking about what we were going to do and all the food we were going to cook. And Paul said, if it's going to be a different year, let's make it a different year.
Yes. He's really good
because he's good about that. Because it was like, if we sat here, we'd see the empty seats at the table. We'd do that.
Yes.
Not that we're avoiding it. We know it's not.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do to be different? And like I said, thankfully, we enjoy each other's company.
Yes.
And we had a good time, and you make the best of it, know? And
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm traditions are wonderful. They kind of mark a place and time, and there's some cohesiveness to it. But at the same time,
if you hold, they don't need to be held on to so tightly.
If you hold it so tightly, it becomes a weight upon you.
Yes.
And the tradition loses what it was meant to do,
which
at
is
the beginning.
Yeah, it can lose some. You can squeeze out some of the joy.
Yes. Yeah. And
definitely.
One of the funniest ones that we did for a while.
Oh yeah.
Was
kind of a white elephant.
It was. Paul and I had gone to a white elephant party, and we got the ugliest picture, PITC.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a picture. Yep. And it was just ugly. And we were like, what are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And we hang on to it for a while. And then I had the idea that, because he was new to the family, that if we wrapped it and gave it to my mom, she would have to be polite.
Yeah.
Because that's what
coming
she does.
From her new amazing son-in-law.
And it was like, yes, he just loved Paul. So and Paul was, of course, going, Kelly, really? And I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we're going to hang out. And so we did that, and it was just hysterical to watch Mom go, well, Paul? And she tried for the longest time, and finally we just bust out laughing.
Yes.
And so then we'd pass it on to new family members.
Yes.
And somewhere it got lost. Somebody must not have appreciated it as much. I don't know. It got lost. But it was fun for a long time.
Yeah, it was fun for
years.
And
then I don't know what happened to it, and maybe it might have died really quickly, but we found this ugly owl that my mom macrameed as we were cleaning her stuff out after she passed. Yes. And I wrapped it up and set it. So I don't know.
I think that type of stuff is fun, especially you like people with a good sense of humor.
You gotta laugh. So anyway, we had fun with that.
Yes.
But
that's
traditions.
Awesome. Traditions.
I was tempted to sing, but I won't.
No. If you don't know that song, you need to go and widen.
Fiddler on the Roof. That's
widen your musical horizons. It's a great song.
Yeah, it really is. It's so hard.
Oh my God, so hard, I know. But yeah, so we hope that you've enjoyed our few weeks of kind of holiday talk, prepping you. This one was supposed to be a little lighter.
Let us know what your traditions are too.
Yes. I'll make a post on Instagram. Love to hear your traditions. And yeah, as always, if you have ideas, we're starting to plan for the new year. If you have ideas of topics or anything that you'd like to learn more about or hear more about, or hear us do some research on, or have some insight on, we'd love to, address what you guys want to learn and want to acquire in your self-growth journey. Yep.
Yeah, great. So we look forward to next week when we take a breath and take a listen.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of An Incomplete Guide to Personal Growth. There are many ways you can stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at An Incomplete Guide Podcast, where you can sign up for our email list and get posts that delve deeper into our weekly topics. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast page wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would really appreciate a rating and sharing us with your family and friends.
We're so glad you chose to spend your time with us, and hope there was a thought, a resource, or a laugh that you can take on your journey. We'll be here every Tuesday for you to take a breath and take a listen.